Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in today. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the relationship between cause and effect and hopefully give you a better understanding on why it is you do what you do and why you struggle with certain aspects of your swing. And golfers do things generally for one of two reasons. It's either out of habit or it's out of necessity. So, for example, the way that you grip the club or the way that you set up to the ball, I would consider that to be habit. What you do during your swing, particularly on your downswing as the club nears impact, is done mostly out of necessity, probably because you've gotten yourself out of position somewhere and it's a last second effort to go on some kind of a rescue mission and save the day so that you can hopefully hit some sort of a decent shot. So let me give you a couple examples of what I'm talking about. Let's take the guy that has the over-the-top move. You know, he swings the club back and then starting down, his hands come way out across and his shoulders spin open, and he releases the club way too soon. He casts it way back here and he loses a lot of power doing that. Well, he's not doing that because he forgot to not do that. He's doing that for a reason, and that reason is probably almost certainly a wide open club face, which is caused by a bad grip. So, you know, again, there's our habit right there, the bad grip. And when he swings the club back, at some point he's gotten that club face wide open. And instinctively he senses that the club face is open and he knows that he doesn't want to go to the right. So his instinct says, hey, swing left and release the club early to get that face back on the ball. You know, if I have a wide open club face and during my backswing I rotate that shaft a whole bunch and get the face open, well, the only way I can get it squared up back to the ball is to release it early, and you can see that squares the face up right there. So really, the only way for this guy to fix this problem is to fix the club face, and in this case that would mean probably fixing his grip somehow, getting a stronger grip. Most golfers, unfortunately, they spend all day trying to treat the symptom. This particular guy here, he's been told to swing out to right field, and he can swing out to right field until the cows come home, but until he fixes that club face, he's not going to have any real incentive to swing that way. Give you another example, just the opposite, the guy that tends to hook the ball, and he's the person that actually tends to swing out to the right too much, exactly what the slicer is trying to do. Well, in his case, you know, again, we have a closed club face problem here, and in an effort to not get the ball to go to the left and smother it, they get a lot of hip slide starting down, and the shaft falls down below underneath their right forearm coming in. They have a very shallow angle of attack. They're doing everything in their power to block that left side off and not let the ball go over there, when really, if the truth be known, that actually makes it worse. So again, until this golfer fixes their club face, they're going to have problems with hooking the ball, and they're going to have to do things on their downswing to try to keep from hooking. Another great example, I love this one too, is the guy that keeps popping up out of his shot here, and his buddy tells him, oh, you took your eye off the ball or you picked your head up. Well, no, that's not exactly what happened. We've all heard that one. Oh, you looked up. That's the greatest alibi ever invented for a bad shot. What's generally happening here is not so much that the golfer took their eye off the ball or they picked their head up. The problem here is that for various reasons, the shaft is approaching the ball on the ground at too steep of an angle. So if you think of a plane that's approaching the ground or the runway, and it's coming in too steep, well, it's going to nosedive and it's going to crash. So what does the pilot do? Pull away, pull up, pull up. Well, that's what this golfer has to do. He has to do this out of necessity. He's got to get down here somewhere, and his instinct says, oh boy, we're going to crash. We better pull up so that we don't crash that club into the ground, because that hurts. And his buddy says, oh no, stay down. You got to stay down more. Well, the more this guy tries to stay down, the more he's actually forced to pop up. So those are just a couple examples of why golfers do bad things that they do. And they're generally trying to treat the symptom, and they don't even really know what the cause is. They just, that golfer, the last example I gave you, he's trying as hard as he can on every swing to keep his head down and stay down, but if he didn't do that, he'd really be in trouble. So once you understand the cause, you can start getting better results. But until then, you're always going to struggle. So hopefully that will give you a little bit better understanding and insight on why you may be having a problem with a certain area of your swing or your game. So until next time, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.